Well, Doctor, what's the verdict?
From the tests already in, Congressman, I'd say you're in pretty good shape.
Oh, that's very nice to hear.
For a man your age. I understand you're a tennis player.
Yes, my favorite sport.
I'd cut out singles and stick to doubles if I were you.
Why, I've played singles all my life.
There comes a time, Congressman. I also want you to lose at least 10 pounds.
Yes, Doctor.
And some regular workouts at the gym might not be a bad idea. You see, as we grow older, our muscle tone tends to...
Yes, I understand.
Other than that, I don't expect to see you until next year at this time.
Very well, Doctor, thank you.
Oh, Doctor, I was just about to knock.
What is it, Sam?
I'm off to lunch. Your new reading glasses, Mr. Morley. Dr. Charles sent them down.
Oh, thank you, Tammy.
See you right after lunch, Doctor.
Right. There is one other thing, sir.
What's that?
From age 40 on, it's a good idea to have a little nap after lunch.
Yes, little nap.
Well, old man, how did you make out?
Oh, fine. You?
I can say it simply because I'm quoting the doctor. You are married to a perfect physical specimen.
I could have told you that before. You want some lunch?
I want to, but I can't. Not with all these errands that I have.
Anything I can do for you?
Well, you could stop by the camera shop and pick up that roll of film.
I guess the old man can manage that.
You didn't take that seriously, did you?
No, of course not. Not for a minute.
Daughter.
Hi, Mr. Morley.
Hello, Tammy.
I'm not waiting for anyone, unfortunately. Care to join me?
Sure you really don't mind. It is awfully crowded, and I would like to get back to work.
I may even ask for your autograph. Here, I've already decided.
Thank you.
Mr. Morley, I bet you're going to look terrific in your new glasses.
My glass? Oh, I almost forgot. Well, it was either get the glasses or have my arms lengthened.
Well, they're very becoming.
So that's where everybody's been, huh?
Mr. Morley, this may be out of place, but I'm going to say it anyway.
Shoot.
You should hear the news some of our patients get.
You know, Tammy, I suspect that you are quite a girl.
Sarah, look. Well, how do you like that?
Poor Katy.
That's men for you.
Why, she and Glen can't have been married for more than 6 months.
And so, after 6 months, I can say that 2 against the problems of life are more than twice as effective as just 1.
Oh, that sounds like a riddle.
Marriage has been the answer to a lot of things, especially for me.
Boy, I sure hope my marriage will be as good as yours sounds.
I hope so, too, Tam. Have you anyone special in mind?
Oh, yes, I've already picked him.
Well, what's holding back the ceremony?
Small technicality. He doesn't know he's been picked. Yet. Do you think we should tell Katy?
Of course we should tell Katy. We're her friends, aren't we?
I guess I'm the one to do it then.
What do you mean, Sarah?
I've known her the longest. I guess the burden does fall on me. I'm not looking forward to it, Ellen, I can tell you that.
No, don't you worry, dear. I wouldn't dream of letting you face this unpleasant task all alone.
I'll manage somehow.
No, Sarah. I insist.
Oh. Well, in that case, I guess the sooner we get it over with, the kinder it'll be to Katy in the long run.
Oh, how I dread it if we could only put it off.
Yes. Waitress, check, please.
And we're rather in a hurry.
Oh, hi. Hello, Katy, dear.
Do you have a few minutes?
Well, I was just going out.
Well, I'm afraid it's rather important.
Oh, of course, come in. But I'm warning you, if you're asking me to be on some committee, you're wasting your time because I'm very busy with...
Oh, Katy, if only it were that.
Well, what is it?
I think she'd better sit down, don't you?
Oh, absolutely. We're your friends, Katy. You do believe that, don't you?
Yeah.
And you know we wouldn't do anything in the world to hurt you.
Not unless we felt it were absolutely necessary.
Ladies, please, I have a very busy afternoon.
Katy, there's another woman.
We agreed I was going to tell her.
Another woman? Where?
In Glen's life.
Would you please explain this game that you're playing?
It isn't a game.
You'd better take it seriously. We saw them together with our own eyes.
Such billing and killing. They were practically necking.
What do you mean practically? And in public?
Shameless little flirt.
She probably thinks she can get away with it because she's so young.
And pretty. Katy, you aren't the first woman that this has happened to. There must be some comfort in that.
Let's hope it's one of those things that will burn itself out sooner or later.
And in the meantime, if there's anything we could do,
Anything at all.
just call on us.
You could start by telling me why you're here.
Why, because we're your friends.
Would you rather not have known?
If it were true, I would have known without being told.
The wife is always the last to know.
No. That fallacy arises because by the time most wives are willing to admit these things, the juicy tidbit has already gotten around, somehow or other.
We knew what we saw, Katy.
Don't be too hard on Glen. After all, he is at that dangerous age.
I can't tell you how much I appreciate your taking the time to come here and show me your warm feelings of friendship in this way.
What else are friends for?
Perhaps that's a question you should ask yourselves. Excuse me?
It's not like Glen. It's not like him at all.
Well, it's the 5th night in a row he's been home late from the office.
What do you suppose he's been doing upstairs for the last half hour?
45 minutes, without benefit of martini.
Yes, that's the most worrisome sign of all.
Dad. Dad. Wake up, Dad.
Hmm?
Aren't you ever coming down for dinner?
Dinner? Oh, yeah. Sure, thanks.
Starved.
I must have dozed off. I didn't mean to.
Maybe you ought to start taking naps after lunch, Dad. Jeff Barkley's dad does. And,
Thanks for the suggestion, son.
you know, Dad, maybe you ought to start exercising. All of a sudden, you seem to be falling apart.
Well, the dinner will be ruined. Do you think I should go and see what's keeping him?
If you were mine, I would.
Well, hi. I was just wondering what was keeping you.
What do you mean, what was keeping me?
Just what was keeping you?
I was on the phone with Sophia Loren. Good evening, Mother.
Good evening, dear. What was keeping you?
He was on the phone with Sophia Loren.
I always knew when your father had a hard day, it brought out the sarcasm in him, too.
Why don't you forget all about it and take me to a movie instead? There's a wonderful double bill.
Katy, if you don't mind, I'm awfully bushed. I'm going to turn in very early.
All right.
But that's no reason for you to stay at home. Why don't you go? Maybe you didn't hear me. I said, why don't you go?
And leave you here all alone to call Sophia Loren? Not a chance.
Well,
Hi. I thought I saw a light.
Oh, hi, Katy. We're just using Dad's study. Is it okay?
guess so.
He doesn't use it too much anymore anyway.
Well, from now on, I think you should get permission before you use it.
Well, we haven't been seeing him too much lately.
Yeah. Well, don't stay up too late. Good night.
Katy? Never mind.
Gee, I thought you were going to ask her about our idea.
Well, I was going to, but... Well, I don't know. It just didn't seem the right time.
Nothing like the smell of fresh coffee.
Darling, are you all right?
Well, of course. Why do you ask?
Well, you move as though you feel sick.
Nonsense.
I better take your temperature. You could be coming down with that flu that's going around.
I feel fine, Katy.
You don't feel warm.
I never felt better in my life, believe me.
Putty in your hands, that's what I am. I believe everything you tell me.
Oh, this is just wonderful coffee.
It's the way I always make it.
Well, it's exceptionally good this morning.
Thank you.
Did the paper come yet?
Oh, right here. But before you get to the important matters of the world, could I ask you a question?
What?
Could you meet me at Angelo's restaurant for lunch today? There's a lamp shop next door, and I bought a fixture I'd like for you to look at.
Oh, gosh, Katy, I'm afraid I can't today.
Well, you have to eat someplace.
It'll have to be at my desk. The work does pile up, you know.
More so lately, it seems. Darling, I have to get dressed. Have a nice day.
For you, too.
Congressman Wally, just the man I've been waiting for.
I'll bet.
Well, you've been here long enough now for a little progress report.
Swell.
You're just a little testy because you've been eating all those celery stalks and carrots, when what you really want is a cheeseburger with all the trimmings and a luscious double chocolate malted milk, huh?
Pete, did you ever consider a career in the diplomatic corps?
No, I can't say that I have. Now, let's see. You came in at 165 pounds. How much of that have we worked off?
5 pounds. 3.5 pounds.
Don't you be worried. It takes some longer than others. Now, what about the old waistline? Whittled off any of that extra blubber, have we?
I haven't measured.
Probably not with only a 3.5 pound weight loss. Well, let us march on as our fat marches off.
Oh, say, Pete, you do know how to turn a phrase, don't you?
Yeah, Mom always thought I should have been a writer.
Too bad you didn't take her advice.
Well, that's the breaks.
Well, now, look, don't you get discouraged, Congressman. Instead, you redouble your efforts. We here at the Washington Men's Health Club are behind you 100%.
Pete, I can't tell you what a lift it gives me to hear that.
I'm getting worried about Glen. It's bad enough being late, but he hasn't made it for dinner these last 3 nights.
I think he's been working too hard.
Yeah, and it's beginning to tell. He looks thinner.
You know, I've noticed that, too. And from what I've been seeing, he hasn't been eating very much lately. For breakfast, he just has juice and black coffee. Thank you. Poor Glen. I think I'll call the office to see if he needs something. Perhaps a thermos of hot coffee.
No answer.
No. Oh, he's probably on his way home. We'll be hearing his key in the lock any minute. It's almost 10 o'clock.
Katy, I don't mean to make noises like a mother-in-law, but is anything wrong?
No, why do you ask?
Well, you seem to be troubled lately.
Well, there's no point trying to keep any secrets from you.
Would talking help?
Maybe. I have the strangest feeling that Glen is hiding something from me.
Oh?
I've never had that feeling before, not in all the time I've known him.
What do you suppose it could be?
Oh, probably something at the office, or maybe he feels I'm not managing the household as well as you did, and he's afraid to tell me, or, well, it could be that he's not feeling well and doesn't want to talk about it.
Katy, I don't believe those possibilities any more than you do.
Well, there is one remote possibility, but I don't think you'd like to hear it.
Out with it. I'm an old lady. There's not much I haven't heard.
Well, there's a rumor about another woman.
Katy.
Well, I don't really believe it.
I expect there are very few wives who don't go through that sort of thing at one time or another.
Did you?
Yes.
Really?
Very painful it was, too. All those rumors flying around.
Well, what did you do?
When I'd prepared myself for an answer I did not want to hear, I asked him.
You shouldn't have waited up.
Well, I wanted to.
Well, that's nice for a husband to hear.
Glen,
Hmm?
could we talk?
Well, could it wait till tomorrow, huh?
Well, I don't think my courage will last till tomorrow.
Courage?
Mm-hmm.
Wait, that sounds kind of serious.
Well, it's probably very silly.
Well, let's get started and find out.
Where were you tonight?
In my office?
I'm going to ask you that question once more. Where were you tonight?
Well, since you insist, I was at the Washington Men's Health Club, taking my gym class.
What?
And being pounded within an inch of my life by that sadistic Bruno.
Oh, Glen.
Joined a couple of weeks ago.
Well, why didn't you tell me?
I expect the honest answer to that is vanity. Male, middle-aged vanity.
Why?
Well, you see, I didn't get quite the complimentary report from Dr. Leonard that you did. He said that I should lose 10 pounds and sent me off to the gym.
Glen, I'm so happy.
Oh, if I'd known it was going to make you that happy, I'd have joined a lot sooner.
Do you know what I thought?
What?
I thought there was another woman.
You didn't.
Yes, I did, sort of.
How could you?
Well, Sarah and Ellen said they saw you, and then you wouldn't have lunch with me, and then you were coming home late from the office, and then tonight when I tried to call.
I am so sorry.
There's no one else?
Just you and me.
Well, if there ever were someone else, would you tell me?
Would you want to know?
Well, I don't know.
I seriously doubt that the problem will ever come up.
Then ours would be a most exceptional marriage.
That's exactly what it is. Didn't you know?
Hi, Dad.
Well, hello, Steve.
What you doing?
I was just thinking about getting something special for Katy.
Hey, I've got a great idea. How about a new car? That one she has is getting kind of flaky.
You refer, no doubt, to that flaky one that you get to drive a lot of the time.
Yeah, well...
No, a car won't do it. Fur coat won't do it. A piece of jewelry won't do it.
Hey, would you mind if I sort of horned in?
Not at all.
Well, then I have an idea. It's, something Danny and I've been thinking about ever since you and Katy got married.
Now, the next, probably the most important information I must have in reaching my decision are the feelings of the two minor children involved. Stephen Morley
Yes, Your Honor.
How do you feel about the prospect of having Mrs. Katrina Morley as your legal mother?
Well, sir, you know when people adopt babies and when they're old enough, the parents explain that they're adopted?
Yes?
And that it's a good thing to get adopted because, well, that way you got picked, and so you know they must have thought you were okay. And, well, I kind of feel as though we're adopting Katy, too. You know, kind of picking her as our mother. And, well, sir, I think she's the grooviest. Thank you.
Thank you, Stephen. And you, Daniel Morley.
Like he said, sir, she's the grooviest.
Well, in that case, I see no reason why this adoption should not be made legal. You will draw up the necessary papers, Counselor, and bring them to me for signature.
Well, Katy, now it's official. And now you really are my boys.
I hate to brag, but we look like a pretty fine family to me.
As they said, sir, the grooviest.
Tonight at 8 Eastern, Dan O'Hurley guest stars on Born Free. Then at 9, exciting news on the 700 Club special, The Future Is Ours. Now stay with us for the Patty Duke Show next on CBN.